Okie dokie, here we are, Richard Dawkins. Look at that lovely mug on that. It's amazing how these people just seem to ooze evil. It's almost like, look at him, he looks like some kind of transvestite vampire. And his agenda is to make you believe that there's nothing spiritual in the world, that there's everything that is to do with spirituality, religion, higher consciousness, God, the creator, the beautiful creation of the universe and the true spiritual divine nature of reality is all nothing but delusion. And he compares people who believe in such things to delusional schizophrenics. It's quite fascinating how they put in the media stuff like I remember a few years ago there was they made a big fuss about someone who did a cartoon of Muhammad in the newspaper, and they put this thing out. Oh, isn't it terrible? Oh, they will offend. You can't offend any Muslims by making a cartoon. This guy gets on the radio. He offends 70% of the entire planet by calling them delusional because they believe in a god or some kind of creator. Yet he's touted all over the media as some kind of bloody prophet or something of this new scientific religion. He's on Richard and Judy, he's on the TV, he's on CNN, his books are everywhere. It's just, this guy just vomits his opinions all over the place. And it's about time that somebody pointed out what nonsense this guy. This guy's delusional. You compare him to someone like Terence McKenna. I just watched a video by Terence McKenna, and he comes across as very lucid, intelligent. He's actually experienced spiritual dimensions. He talks about the true nature of reality and the spiritual underlying higher dimensions and spiritual nature of everything. And this guy Dawkins, Dawk for short, just comes across as some kind of nasty little weirdo, basically. That's the best way I can put it. He comes across exactly like some kind of one of these old Christian preachers. I wouldn't be surprised if he's even being paid by the Vatican. It's some kind of weird experiment to sort of see how they can manipulate people next. Because it follows, when you see him stand up and give these lectures, it's as if, in the past, before people knew much about science, people used to, they used to go to the church and listen to the preacher saying all this stuff. And they didn't have any scientific background, so they were more into mythology, and that worked for them. Now we're moving into this age where people are much more aware of science, and it's as if they're trying to create some kind of new scientific religion, which is this sort of agnostic religion of science. And he's like their sort of spokesperson. It's very disturbing that this man wants everyone to not believe in anything spiritual. And he says things like religion are totally useless and you're delusional if you believe in a creator. Anyway, this is a really funny video that I just found because this woman asks a very clear, lucid question. Can you give me an example of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process that creates more complexity in the genome? Which is obviously a very important question if you're going to go around telling people that Darwinist evolution is the explanation of everything. I'm not saying that I don't believe in Darwinism. Obviously, natural selection exists. But there could easily be other things going on. When you realize that we do actually live in a spiritual universe and that our consciousness is one of the most powerful things about us, then you realize that even your own consciousness can change your genetics. And there's all sorts of things that could have happened that changed our genetics. I don't really want to get into it now. I'll probably make another video about possibility that our DNA was manipulated in the past by someone or something. That's a whole other video. But for now, let's just see how he completely avoids this question, and he goes into a sort of state of shock actually when it's almost as if he realizes that he can't answer the question. He just then starts talking about something else.
Of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process which can be seen to increase the information in the genome?
Richard Dawkins. Oh shit, she asked me something intelligent.
Can you just stop when I think...
Okay. Now I'm gonna just answer something else like a politician. Just start talking about something else. Because I can't answer that.
There's a popular misunderstanding of evolution which says that fish turned into reptiles and reptiles turned into mammals, and so somehow we ought to be able to look around the world today and look at our ancestors.
Yeah, really, Mr. Dawkins.
See the intermediates between fish and reptiles, and between reptiles and mammals. We ought to be able to see fish kind of on the way to becoming reptiles. Because that's not the way it is at all. Fish are modern animals. They're just as modern as we are. They're descended from ancestors, which we're descended from.
And that doesn't explain at all your question, does it? But I'm just Richard Dawkins, so I could just say what I want.
Way back 300 million years ago, there would have been an ancestor, which was the ancestor of modern fish and the ancestor of modern humans. And that ancestor, if you could have been there then, you could have seen the first steps towards a fish, say, coming out onto the land and becoming something like an amphibian. But that was a long time ago. You wouldn't expect to see that today. And so quite a lot of the misunderstanding of evolution, I suppose, stems from the fact that people are looking at modern animals and thinking that Darwin has said we're descended.
Who said anyone misunderstood anything? Who said anyone misunderstood? So basically she asked you an intelligent question, Dawkins, and all you did is just turned it around and start saying that, oh, people don't understand evolution. You don't understand because I'm so much more clever than you. I'm Dawkins. You don't understand.
We're not descended from modern fish. We're not descended from modern monkeys. We're not descended from modern apes. They are modern animals just as we are. They are our cousins. They're not our ancestors.
What a load of... you know what that was a load of. Look at him. Looks like a vampire. Like a transvestite vampire. Oh my god, look, he hasn't got any eyes. Look, maybe he's a reptilian. Look at that. I just literally... My god. Look, his eyes are rolling up into the back of his head. Oh, there they are.
Oh, can't answer that. Oh, I'm a biologist. I'm a genetic biologist, but I can't answer it. I can't actually explain why it is that that. Can you give me an example of genetic mutation that?
Of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process
which is seen to increase the information in the genome. I can't answer it. Oh, I wonder why.
Maybe because I don't have all the answers, because I'm a moron. Okay, anyway, let's listen to his lecture and let's make some more comments on this idiot. So this is his God delusion. Good old Dawkins' God delusion. Here we go.
Ready?
Here we go. God
Chosen
delusion.
for that skill. I am delighted to be here. I'm cowed and somewhat intimidated by this audience. I only hope I can live up to it. Isn't it a remarkable coincidence? Almost everyone has the same religion as their parents, and it always just happens to be the right religion.
Right, so here he launches off straight away. It's his whole argument against spiritual belief is that it has something to do with organised religion. I wish he would make his mind up. Is he just against organised religion, or does he actually think that there's no such thing as any spiritual aspect of reality? because he sort of lumps it all together in one. There's no need to lump all that together in one thing. You know, it's a completely different thing to say that you disagree with organised religion as to say that you don't believe that there could ever be a God or a creator. It's two completely different subjects, but he lumps it all together because it helps his argument, because he knows that lots of people don't like organised religion. Organised religion has done a lot of bad things over history. So he does this sort of thing of lumping it all together to convince you that his argument is right. Anyway, let's listen to what he has to say.
Religions run in families. If we'd been brought up in ancient Greece, we'd all be worshipping Zeus and Apollo. If we'd been born Vikings, we'd be worshipping Wotan and Thor.
And what's that got to do with anything? That's just labels. That's just names. That's just words. That's got nothing to do with the underlying truth. You see, his words speak for themselves. I mean, anyone who can't see through this guy is an idiot. Just listen to what he says.
How does this come about? Through childhood indoctrination. No wonder religion runs in families. One by
Yeah, okay. No one likes childhood indoctrination. What's that got to do with anything?
one, the ancient belief systems have vanished from the face of the earth, and we seem to get on just fine without them. Zeus with his thunderbolts, Apollo, Wotan, Thor with his hammer, Baal, Mithras, Ammon-Ra.
You see, this fool has no knowledge of ancient gods and what this even means. These are all symbolic god forms that represent different energies in the universe. They're like symbols, tokens. It's not the same as talking about an ultimate creator of the universe, or not even necessarily a creator. Maybe just some kind of higher dimensional being, or just a pure consciousness, which it pervades the entire universe. Something like the Egyptian goddess Nu, the goddess of infinite space. You know, that has nothing to do